YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 16th. It's 2025, and it's Sunday. And hopefully tomorrow morning I get my truck buttoned up and I'm be on my way. But this just happened in my state, and I have to talk about this. The only problem is it's a town meeting that happened in the town of Worcester. Now, Worcester, Massachusetts is where I got clean 16, 17 years ago. And it was the hardest city in the world to get clean in because Worcester is a haven. It's a focal point for drug addicts, drug dealers, gangs, bad cops, bad laws, and people like this.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am. Yes, I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
So yeah, that clown you just saw, because what you just saw traditionally would be considered a clown. Somebody dressed up in a colorful wig with a big red nose and all these wacky gloves and all these other things, and they're terrified that we have a new president, and they think that Donald Trump is going to come attack them in some way, somehow. And it just it blows me away. It just blows me away completely. But it goes on. And the reason I'm using this guy's video is because I can't find this Worcester town meeting anyplace else online. And I just spent all day editing a video on 𝗙𝗲𝗍𝗿𝗆𝗍 that no one's probably going to watch, but I had to do something to kill time. I did that, and then I literally began rereading Confusion in Christianity. Now, this book has gone through the mill, as you can see, but it's well read. Got my little Bigfoot hologram postcard somebody sent me. At any rate, you know the great thing about that book is at the very, very end, he starts talking about Christmas and how it was so difficult for him to sit down in church and sit down with family while the entire time you're observing a holiday that is for Nimrod, Osiris, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call him, somebody of many, many names. And in the book, he mentions that the church talks about Jesus, the most important man that ever walked the earth, ever, period. They talk about him as baby Jesus, a little baby, a little helpless baby that needs to be breastfed and burped, and it needs to have its diapers changed and this and that. Not only is Jesus' birthday on September 11th, during the Feast of Trumpets, but it's also completely taking away. You're turning a man, the mightiest man of all time ever, into an infant. I never caught that. You know what I mean? And another thing that he says in the book that I liked was he had to stop celebrating Christmas because he just couldn't take it anymore. And do you remember how many videos I made? Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Richie from Boston. It's Christmas, and I'm in Boston, or I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Well, my family's literally in my house, where I live, in my house, they're having Christmas dinner where I live, in my house, not at my house, in my house. And instead of telling them anything, because I know my family, they're not going to listen in any way whatsoever at all. But it was cool to read the fact that somebody else felt the same way. I felt bad because I wasn't hanging with my family, but I also felt angry at my family for not understanding something that's easily understandable. You know what I'm saying? At any rate, back to these people real quick.
You better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
So you heard that. They need you to make the entire city of Worcester, which is Worcester is the other Boston. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the other largest city in Massachusetts. It's way out west. Boston is right on the ocean. Worcester is way inland towards upstate New York. And according to the Hamburglar there, if the town of Worcester doesn't do what they want, they threaten with violence. It's astonishing to me. And you know exactly what happened? Donald Trump. They passed it. It was passed. So that way there, the Hamburglar didn't have to get down and threaten these people. How pathetic is this place? How pathetic is this place? We're watching YouTubers that fancy themselves Christians and fancy themselves truthers staying on YouTube because you can't get any more views on YouTube than you can on Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, or your own private site, but you can monetize. So in order to stay there, they self-censor. Do you understand? How do you call yourself a Christian truther if you're self-censoring? You know what I'm saying? The reason I got kicked off of YouTube is because during COVID, I would not use code words. I was telling you like it was because too many people that follow me don't get what I'm saying anyways. For the most part, it's sad to say, I've met a lot of them. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Some conspiracy theorists are what we would consider conspiracy theorists. You know what I mean? But whatever. So I never spoke in code. But listen to these people even more. This is insane. This is just a sad state of affairs. And this guy, his name is 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗆. I don't know why I follow him. I just do. Because he says things like I do, but he says it comically, but he doesn't believe in it. He says it for the views. That almighty monetization. Remember me? I was demonetized. Demonization. Did I say that right? Whatever. I'm bored. It is what it is.
This person goes from telling you they're scared to death of Trump. They only see him on a screen, instill such a level of fear that they then immediately threaten you with violence. It's like, if you don't do something I want, it won't be a safe space because the trans revolution will begin.
I'm shaking right now.
I thought I was shaking before. I am literally shaking so much more right now.
I don't want to be here.
Please.
I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
Yes, this little human here looks incredibly unwell on multiple levels.
These people aren't gay or transgender or anything. You know what they are? They have mental disorders, period. And people need to run with the tide. We got this new president that's telling everybody there's male and female. Wow, it is pathetic being an American where our president has to come in and the first thing he says is there's only male and female. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's astonishing to me. That's where we're at as a society right now. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that this passed, these people are in here. Look at these folks. Look at these folks. These are pathetic human beings. And I shouldn't say that because you know why? Atrazine, Adderall, Ritalin, all the different things that they've taken and been injected with is changing them over. But having to deal with them sucks. It sucks because they could have not taken these things. Do you see what I'm saying? Adderall is, you know how they made OxyContin and it was crack for white people. That's what it was. Crack for white people that would lead to heroin. That's what it was. That's what it was. We had the crack wave that started everything up. Then we had the oxy wave that kept everything going and made it bigger. It was like rap music was only for black people and then certain white people. I've been listening to rap since Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? I remember my father coming to my bedroom. I was playing rap on a record. And he came in and he said, that shit's just a fad. What do you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I had to re-record this. I already had 19 minutes and I have to watch it all the way through because I forgot to say what I was supposed to say. Adderall is just like OxyContin is chemically, molecularly identical than the purest heroin. Adderall is chemically identical to crystal methamphetamine. So your kid has ADD, give them Adderall. So someone that can't stay still, you're going to give them crystal meth. But here's the thing, maybe you do or maybe you don't know, but using crystal meth gives you, you think being drunk makes people sexually loose? Try a crystal meth addict because all bets are off. All these wacky Hamburglar, Shrek-looking, gay people, LBGT, whatever they think they are, whatever, all of them have been dosed with this their entire lives. So I should have some sympathy for them. But I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, this is in my state. So I guess it just pisses me off. But back to whatever it was I was saying prior. Yeah. But here's the deal. Rap overtook everything. There's no more Van Halen. There's no more Led Zeppelin. There's no more bands like that. Rap is pervasive. And what it causes is unbelievable crime. It's everything that's immoral. Rap promotes because the people leading the record industry tell their artists. How many black artists? Eazy-E came out from NWA. Eazy-E came out and said, they told us to sing this because it would sell, and it did. But also, music and television have completely influenced absolutely everything. You think if we lived back in the old days before television, that your neighbor came out with his pants all the way on the wrong side of his ass, you'd say, you know what? I'm going to do that. That was the first litmus test they did where kids were walking around with their pants hanging down, which in prison, ask me how I know, in prison, it meant that you were available. You were for sale. Carton of cigarettes, you're mine. You know what I mean? I didn't go that route. I was good. I didn't understand the guys that like, it doesn't count in jail. And I'm like, dude, you can take care of yourself. You don't have to have sex with another man because you're doing 1.5 years or 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I just never got it. And the reason they're using rap music is for some reason utilizing Satan. I mean, blatantly. Rap music, Satan worship makes Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all the old Ozzy Osbourne, it makes them look like rookies. They would insinuate. There would be double entendres. There would be innuendo. These videos now, it's just in your face. All of it is completely satanic. You've literally got people with iPhones that are videotaping what appears to be demonic beings running around at Travis Scott concerts. You know what I'm saying? It's out of hand. It's out of control, but it's absolutely everywhere. It's all anyone listens to. And I heard about Kendrick Lamar and Drake having some sort of beef that went to the Super Bowl. I listen to Kendrick Lamar rap. His rap sucks. Drake sucks. The old rappers were way better, but that's just my opinion. Back to the original video. But at any rate, it's unbelievable how much things have gone down the toilet. Let's listen to more of this because it's I want you to be as upset as I am. How's that? So, you know, even though I don't see you, I'll know others are just as agitated as I am.
There was a time when this sort of stuff was completely satire.
In order to get answers, I knew I had to take a new tactic, appealing to man's most carnal desires.
You know what? Maybe I should digress because this woman I'm going to show you right now has a point. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I can't believe someone cheered for that.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do in drag.
All right, so the gay squared kid with the blue wig, who just told us how the trans revolution would begin and no one will be safe, is now telling us how crippled they are on multiple levels, physically and mentally. But then again, it's on brand. It's like, oh, you're in trouble once we rise up, after my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome clears up, and I beat narcolepsy with a side of autism.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off.
Now listen carefully to what this man has to say. This man right here.
Want to be here. It's my day off. I do not want to be in your DMs. I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me.
How I wish we didn't hear and see you.
You know what's really astonishing to me now that I'm rewatching this? The fact that a city council meeting would sit there and listen to these people ranting and raving and running around like absolute lunatics. But hey, that's politics. Politics where you say one thing and you do another. It's just all lies. Everything is just all lies, but I digress. And the reason this kid can get away with making these videos and have 890,000 subscribers on YouTube is because he supports the left-right paradigm. He supports Trump. That's how he gets away with it. I couldn't make a video and lie. I couldn't.
And see you. You ever notice how trans men never know how to be a man? They're running around with a glitter beard and makeup done by what appears to be a mortician that was criminally gay on the weekends. Is being laughed at by the two normal women. And this is the day off. You know what I do on my day off? I have fun. I do something I like. These people get a day off and it's like time to run to City Hall and squeal like a pig.
Oh, sweet Lord. I'm just going right past this guy who can't even formulate his own thoughts without pulling out.
At any rate, you see what pisses me off. I leave Massachusetts and then this all happens. But did you see the men there, or the woman, the giant guy that was wiggling around like Elon Musk being interviewed, telling you that he needs to put a implant in your brain so you won't be a house cat, so that you can keep up with the AI that's going to overtake humanity if you don't get a brain implant. And he can't stop building the AI but you have to get an implant. You see what I'm saying? This is totally insane. And now, speaking of that, Keith from Many Fish put up a video today, and he pulled up somebody that I was unaware of, and I want you to see this in case you hadn't seen it. So there you go, Keith. Thanks. I had to make another video.
And what you're about to hear Musk talk about here almost 10 years ago is the neural lace. And now you have the neural link, which is just a diversion, basically, because they never abandoned the technology of the neural lace, which is nanotechnology that is able to be put right into the bloodstream, even inhaled, and be brought to the neurons of the brain. You just got to understand this stuff. The information's out there. You know, Trump and his Musk genius, his disciples, Doge, Doge is not just to make government efficient or to root out the fraud, but it's to gather data, all the data contained within these alphabet agencies that Doge is auditing. Doge is a big data grab and consolidation. They need to consolidate the data, all of it. And big data is the power.
Of big data, connectivity, and artificial intelligence. It's giving us powers and prowess that we never had before. It's giving us powers and prowess that we never had before.
Right? And AI is their e-god. Doge in reverse, e-god. That's how they operate. Why else would Musk build his supercomputer gigantic Temple AI data center for XAI in Memphis? It's because they're giving homage to real deities.
That's where our new God will come from. Yeah, no kidding. That's where our new God will come from. No kidding.
And quantum computing, the data centers, those are their temples. Literally, their God is in the cloud, remember? Just like Almighty God appeared in the cloud, in the oracle, in the temple, the Holy of Holies.
But science has reached the point now where we can build machines that exploit those other worlds. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god.
So do you see how everything we've been warning about for the last 15 years is all coalescing right now? How everything plays its parts? Nobody talks about quantum computers anymore. Google talked about their new quantum chip that was so strong it could, I don't even remember what they said, it could figure out things that were just ridiculous, mind-boggling numbers, so forth and so on. And then it kind of went quiet. You know what I mean? But here's the deal. I said this originally 15, 16 years ago, and I'm saying it now. And most experts agree with me. D-Wave was nothing more than their first 24/7 non-stop internet connection to another dimension. And since we've seen D-Wave show up, look at all the hell that's broken loose. Do you see what I'm saying? It's absolutely unbelievable to me how this is all really happening. I didn't think I'd still be here. Here I am. It is what it is, at any rate.
Love of the truth is essential. I mean, do you want the truth, no matter what the cost? Are you willing to cast aside what you've been taught and the comfort that you enjoy, by this current evil world? And this video I'm sharing is a mere fraction of what's readily available for all to see, because God is shining that light under the darkness. Things are being revealed.
So when Keith talks about, do you really want to know the truth? Because it takes you out of your comfort zone. That ties right back into what I was saying about myself and the author of this book. Because at the very, very end, at like page 500 and something, he's talking about Christmas. Do you know how uncomfortable it was for me to leave my own house? What did my family think? I don't know what they thought. He's a crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't know what they thought. But I know I couldn't have spoke to him about it because I know my family. You couldn't speak to them about Barack Obama. I remember my father plainly. I don't want to hear it. But I still did it. And it was incredibly uncomfortable. And you feel separated. And you feel alone. And you really start to question, am I crazy? Am I really one of these crazy conspiracy theorists that they show in every movie, every television show, and they show them as crazy? But then on the other hand, they'll show things like this.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people, you better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here. I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense physical pain. I'm on the autism spectrum.
So in the world we live in, conspiracy theorists, people that come to you and show you information that's written down in government documents, government speeches, government meetings, patents, ancient texts, you show them all that information, you're crazy. But these people that are clearly, even though they've been dosed with medications, they've been drinking and consuming atrazine, and they just went the easiest path. Because we've all been dosed. We've all been eating and drinking atrazine. We've all been fluoridated. We've all been chemtrailed. But we're all still here. You know what I'm saying? We're not quite as healthy as we should be, but how can you be? You can go buy organic food all you want if you can afford it, but it doesn't make any difference. Organic is still owned by Monsanto for the most part, and whatever else is organic is still grown outside. The soil on Earth in the United States is destroyed. The skies are raining heavy metal every single solitary day without fail. But somehow the people like us we're crazy. But these people, these clowns, these freaks that don't even know what they are, and they're almost always in the position to be around children where they teach them. You heard that woman. I'm a transgender mother and I have 2 transgendered kids. Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? It's absolutely insane to me. And when that transgender hamburglar makes a threat against Worcester, did you know this was a thing? Do you follow this guy? I do.
In tonight's big story, the history of the group known as the Zizzians that some have described as a possible cult, and just how Vermont becomes part of this intricate web. We told you last night 2 people involved in the shooting death of a Border Patrol agent, David Mayland, could have ties to the group. But the questions, how did the group start and how did they get here?
Now I'm showing you this because the Hamburglar is in Worcester. Worcester is western Massachusetts, which directly abuts Vermont, where this transgender death cult lives, and they've killed people.
ABC 22's Matt Holderman spoke with investigative reporters around the country to try and answer some of those questions for us.
Jack 𝗍𝗲𝗏, a transgender tech whiz and devout vegan who had recently moved to the Bay Area, organized a group of people similar to him to protest a rationalist reunion.
They showed up there in all black robes, in Guy Fawkes masks, with a school bus and a flatbed truck. They blocked the entrance and exit to this place and started handing out flyers. Now we know, these years later, that that was really a launching point.
Fast forwarding to 2022, according to reports, 𝗏𝗏 and his associates bought a World War II tugboat in Alaska and sailed it down to San Francisco Bay with plans to live on it. But eventually, the boat sank and the group abandoned it.
His supporters and friends and family in California, in the Bay Area, had alleged that he died in a boating accident, and even his counsel told the court that.
And the attorney told the judge that his client, Jack 𝗏𝗏𝗏, was dead.
The people who were on the boat with 𝗏𝗏𝗏 then turned to a landlord they met in the marina, Curtis Lind. According to court documents, after renting from Lind in Vallejo for a while, the group attacked him with knives and a samurai sword in November, with Lind fighting back, shooting and killing one of them, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗆. About a month and a half later, a set of murders happened in Pennsylvania that seem unconnected on the surface until police arrested someone on an obstruction charge, Jack 𝗍𝗲𝗏𝗏.
According to the police record, he acted very bizarre. He pretended to be dead. The staff had to hold him up for the photo.
𝗏𝗏𝗏's bail was eventually lowered to $10,000 in 2023, which he paid and got out. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 hasn't been seen since, but 𝗍𝗍𝗏 activity may still be ongoing. This year, Curtis Lind was set to testify as the lone witness in his own attempted murder case. And with a fading memory, his attorney filed paperwork to move his testimony up to happen as soon as possible. But on January 17th, Lind was found dead.
Literally the next day, prosecutors alleged that Maximilian Snyder walked up to him in a cul-de-sac just outside of his property in Vallejo and stabbed him to death.
He was the sole witness to one of their attacks, and that witness has now been murdered.
Then just 3 days later was the deadly shootout in Vermont between U.S. Border Patrol agents and the team of Teresa Youngblood and Felix Bockholt, who allegedly preferred the names Milo and Ophelia. Youngblood had filed for a marriage license with Snyder, the man accused of killing Lind in Vallejo. It was at this point some of the possible connections became clear, especially with court documents suggesting Youngblood could be linked to other violent cases across the nation.
What's scary about it is that there are people who are at large. It almost sounds like it's been written by AI. It's so unbelievable that if the allegations are true, there was an extremist cult killing people for several years, and federal authorities completely missed the seriousness of this.
So there's a good chance you probably follow this guy on Twitter or X, whatever. I call it Twitter because it's Twitter. This guy, Andy NGO, I don't know how to say that. He covers all this stuff. And you remember when they took over Washington and they had their little lawless town there that imploded on itself? He was covering everything like live right there and then. That's how I ended up following him. But apparently these trans people making threats like this, I would take them seriously. Because how do you kill two people and then attack another guy with a samurai sword to the point where he loses his eye? I mean, you don't attack old people. You don't. You don't. You just don't ever. You have to respect your elders. Period. We don't do that anymore. But these people have attacked them. He gets arrested and they let him out on 10 grand bail. Really? I accidentally hit a guy right across the face. You can look it up. It was on the news. With a baseball bat. He was a huge dude. He was drunk and on crack cocaine, and he was trying to abduct a 5-year-old. I had my wife, who was armed. I had 2 pit bulls. I rolled up on this scene. I lived at a hotel with my wife because our landlady, who was also gay, was breaking into our apartment every day and hurting our dogs. And I actually put cameras up in my house to catch her. I'd come home and watch the tapes. I come home one day, my puppy Dottie's got a big scratch on her face. And I'm looking at the other dog and I'm like, that's not from his teeth. I watched the tape. It's been erased. So we had to move out, and we couldn't find a place to live with 2 pit bull terriers. We moved into a hotel room. When you live at a hotel, hijinks ensue. We roll up to the hotel one day. I see this dude trying to pound down a door. I know he's already got restraining orders and he's trying to abduct his 5-year-old daughter. Instead of releasing the hounds, which I could have, but they would have killed him, or my wife's weapon, she would have killed him, I took a baseball bat and I hit a home run. Turned his teeth into powder, his jaw into powder. He lost sight in one eye. I went to jail for that, and my father had to bail me out for, I think it was like $45,000 cash or $450 surety. You know what I'm saying? But this guy kills 2 people, and they let him out on $10,000 bail. And in his bail picture, they're holding him up because he's dead. He's pretending to be dead. Are you kidding me? But that's the world we live in right now. It's amazing to me. Utterly insane. Now you understand the name jailbreak. You got it? There it is. At any rate, I went in front of a jury of 12, and I was released shortly thereafter. I did a while. At any rate. So, real quick, thanks to our good works, Confusion in the Cosmos and Confusion in Christianity are now back on Amazon. So, I receive nothing. He receives nothing. He doesn't even use his real name. You know what I mean? He won't even be interviewed. He doesn't use his real name. But that book, if I'm reading a 560-page book for the 3rd time, it's in there. It's in there. It's a great book. It doesn't rewrite the Bible. It explains things that you cannot tell me you're reading the Bible and you understand everything, because they're writing from thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the book helps, and it explains a lot. And if you're like me and not just watching me for conspiracy entertainment, and chances are, seeing how I'm not on YouTube anymore, you're watching this for the right reasons. And with that, I'm happy. It's good to go. It all works out. Chances are you're truly awake and you're truly trying to find your way to heaven. And living in this world, we don't stand a chance if we don't really try at it. Stay in prayer, fast, or don't. Richie from Boston, I'm out.